Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save.
Right, hello guys, welcome back to another episode and I'd like to start this episode off with a little bit of an apology. I know it's been a little while since the last episode. I've just been struggling so much to get the time to sit down and do any recording, let alone any Football Manager or anything like that. So it's actually been a couple of weeks since I've played, but to be honest, the break's done me well. So I'm fired up now, ready to get back into it. So we're here for episode number 53. Like I say, it has been a little while since the last episode, but this is the end of season review for the season, for episode 53. So it's just gonna be a brief one. Hopefully, I'll get episode 54 out much sooner. So we're gonna go into the end of season review. We did win the league again. Which we'll see in just a moment. We won the league and we won the cup as well. So, in terms of signings, signing of the season has gone to Enzo Villa. Of course, we brought him back from Porto at the start of the season because we were very short of centre halves. £12.5 million for him. He's done quite well. We're still sort of struggling at centre half as well, but we've got some really good young players who have played quite well. Gonzalo Medina is going to be a fantastic player, I feel. So is Rafael Zanis in goal. So looking forward to that. In terms of the outs, of course, we had the massive one this season, which was Zaouiri, £104 million to Real Madrid. Is he going to develop any more? I don't know. I don't know. Is it wise selling our best players to potential rivals in the future? Maybe, because we're not quite at Real Madrid's level yet, are we? Same as Mourinho. We went to Bayern Munich for £20 million. I think £20 million is a bit of a steal for Mourinho. It's a profit as well. He's played 6 times for Bayern off the bench and got 2 goals. So we'll see how those go. In terms of loans out, there was absolutely loads of them, as you would expect in a Build the Nation save. Some of them have done quite well, as you can see here. Moyabi Gowri's done well at CSK. He's going to be another good player. Listed as a wonder kid, so we'll see him in the future. Anyway, in terms of the season results, we did win the league by 4 points. It was quite close this season. We actually lost the last game of the season to CSK 1948, but the title was already won at that point. So that's really good. Baron with 16 goals, top goal scorer. Champions League, knocked out of the round of 16 by Manchester United. Manchester United, they're becoming a little bit of a problem for us in Europe. The Cup, we did win that. We beat CSK 1948 in the final. And the Super Cup, unfortunately, we lost that to Levski Sofia right at the start of the season. In terms of moments to remember, the biggest win was an 8-1 thumping of Spartak Varna. Kaufman with a hat-trick, Lima, Marimbio, Baron, Diogo Costa and Elias with the goals. Match to remember was a 2-1 away win in Porto, which is a fantastic result. Goal of the season goes to Baron, that great win that we had away from home to RB Leipzig. Financially, it's been a good season again. Obviously, in terms of transfer revenue brought in, it's been absolutely massive. Reputation, according to that, is staying the same. Sponsorships up slightly. Broadcast revenues down slightly, which is concerning considering we got to the last 16 of the Champions League again. Competition prize money is also down by £10 million compared to last season. Now, that could be quite big for us. Shirt sales was 20,000 shirts now. We're selling. This used to be, single figures at one stage. Merchandise sales is only £3 million, so it's not massive. How we lined up, the team of the season, it's going to be Mashas in goal. Wanted by Chelsea and Al Hilal. So, if we can get a decent fee for him, we only paid £2.8 million for him, remember. We'll see how that goes. But Enzo Villa, Tabian Barga and Kenny Lund, another one who is listed as a wonder kid. Another one's going to be a fantastic player for us in the future, I feel. Lima and Arujo, Diogo Costa, Ali Marungu, who is still here, is still wanted. Hopefully we can get that £100 million for him. We'll have to see how that goes. Kaufman, for whatever reason, CSK 1948 didn't want him back this season on loan, and he's actually played really well for us. And then we've got Baron and Marimbio. Baron, of course, our star striker, elite forward. I just don't like this, the fickle and the big matches. That could possibly something that we can improve on, but he has got 70 goals and 111 appearances for us in Bulgaria now. So a great season for the teams there. In terms of the accolades, no record breakers, which is surprising, but Baron, Fans Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season goes to Enzo Villa. Signing of the Season, of course, as we've already discussed, is Enzo Villa. Goal of the Season, Baron. Top goal scorer, Baron, again with 23 across all comps. He also got the most assists with 11, so there's 34 goal contributions there from Fernando Baron. Most Player of the Match awards goes to Lima, our fantastic Brazilian right wing back, who's now got Bulgarian citizenship, but he's been capped by Brazil now, finally. Again, it could be better, but he's been a fantastic servant to the club. And then Enzo Villa, most passes completed per 90 as a centre-half is very, very good. So history in the making again. It's our 8th league title, I believe. So we are closing the gap now to some of the teams in Bulgaria in terms of titles won. If I can find the league. Records. Most times won is 31. So, you know, we've got a way to go yet. We have got a way to go yet. But now that's 6 in a row that we've won now. CSKA runners up 3 times in a row. Ludogorets have sort of returned to a little bit of form after this dominant spell that they've had for quite some time, to be honest. But they've sort of fallen off in our say for whatever reason. But yeah, it's fantastic that we've got 6 in a row now. In terms of the squad itself, in terms of most appearances this season, it's been Mashas. The most outfield appearances, though, go to Baron with 44. In terms of goals, of course, we've got Baron with 23. Ignore Tau, he's on loan at Olympiacos, who he's actually done really, really well for, to be fair to him. Kevin Jeltema with 15 in 33, of course, on loan at Spartak Varna. Hasn't quite developed the way that I thought he might, but he's got 53 goals in 90 appearances for Spartak. But Spartak have started to struggle the last couple of seasons. They're in the relegation phase this season after doing quite well in Europe just a couple of seasons ago. But next player who's here is our young 16-year-old Bulgarian, who I'm hoping is going to be absolutely fantastic. He has scored himself 9 goals in 17 appearances, and he's improving as he goes. He's balanced personality-wise, but that's not too bad. Could improve a lot. Of course, he's versatile, international experience as well. He's capped at under 16, under 17 level, I believe. His finishing's really good. I think he's going to be a fantastic player with that potential that he could potentially hit. Of course, he could be really, really good. In terms of assists, it is Baron, then it's Lima, Arujo, so the wing-backs are doing the work. Tapian Barga from centre-half has got 5 assists. Baba Campore, who again has played really well for us this season, 20 appearances. He's also wanted by quite a number of clubs. So he's turning into a really, really good player as well. Is the 26-year-old, but if the fee comes in, guys, we'll jump on it. Right, of course, the remaining items are how we did in Europe in terms of coefficients, but the eventual Champions League winners were Barcelona. They obviously won in the final against, I can't remember who, Sevilla. So it was an all-Spanish final. We've got some money for our coefficients ranking and Champions League television revenue, which does leave us now with £87 million in the bank, which is, of course, really, really good. But let's have a look at the coefficients themselves and see how we got on. It doesn't want to load. There we go. Right, Bdin, a 15th. This season we scored 22, so we've sort of averaged out in the early 20s. But we're currently in 15th position, which leaves us going on to 112 points. We stay in the same, basically. We're not jumping above anybody in front of us, and obviously we're keeping the teams behind us. So 15th is really, really good. In terms of 10-year seasons, which is what you used for revenue, we're up to 35th in that. We do still have a 0 in there. So next season, expect us to see us take a big jump up in that one as well. Which could be massive in terms of financially. In terms of the nation itself, though, Bulgaria up here in 7th place. We've had not the best of seasons, only a 10.8, which is actually pretty poor. Considering the 2 nations or the 3 nations that we're now chasing have had a decent season. We're actually losing a 15 off the front as well, so we're losing ground to the nations ahead of us. Fortunately, nobody is overtaking us. So going into next season, we're going to be about 11 points behind Germany. It's not been, like I say, the best of seasons for Bulgarian clubs. But let's have a look at how they got on. And of course, we'll start off with how we did. Of course, we had that great run in the group stage, beating Copenhagen, losses to City and Atletico Madrid, and I was starting to get a little bit worried, but then wins against CFR, Cluj, Porto, Liverpool, a draw with Rennes, which was very disappointing, and that win against Leipzig saw us go straight through to the round of 16, where unfortunately we were once again beaten by Manchester United. This is, I think, the closest that we've been to beating them, though. A 2-0 loss at Old Trafford, but we did bring them back to the Bdin Stadium and pick up a 1-0 win. So CSK 1948, last season's runners-up, did get to the Champions League. They beat FC Nordsjælland 3-1 on aggregate. Unfortunately, though, they were absolutely thumped by Anderlecht 4-1 at home in Bulgaria, and then they lost 2-0 away. So that dropped them into the Europa League phase. Wins over PSV Eindhoven, Slavia Prague. A little bit of a losing streak, though, to Djurgårdens, Rangers and Bayer Leverkusen. Draws with Dynamo Kiev, a draw with Falmachau, and a win over HJK. Did see them get to the knockout round where they got a little bit of revenge for the group stage on Rangers, knocked them out 4-0 on aggregate. Took Lian to penalties in the round of 16, where unfortunately they did lose the penalty shootout. But that's not too bad from a CSK 1948 point of view. Right, Levski Sofia, they went straight into the Europa League phase. A 3-0 thumping from Valencia. Wins over Austria Vienna, though. Defeat to Zeno Zagreb. Win over Newcastle, which is a little bit surprising. Win over Antwerp. A defeat to Falmachau and Roma. And a draw with Celtic. They did get to the knockout round, so that's 3 Bulgarian teams in knockout rounds of Europe. Unfortunately, it was an aggregate defeat to Besiktas for Levski Sofia. Right, Ludogorets Razgrad. They were into Europa League qualifying where they got past... No, they didn't get past Slavia Prague. They were beaten on aggregate by Slavia Prague, losing the home leg, which again is surprising. Into the Conference League qualifying where they did beat Partizani 3-0 on aggregate, which put them into the league phase. Defeat to Bodo Glimt. In fact, they've only picked up 1 win, which was against Lian. That's not very good from CSKA. There's some teams in there that they should be beating, really. The likes of, Kasımpaşa. They should definitely be beating Kasımpaşa. I've never even heard of them. Turkish team. Maybe not then. I didn't realise they were Turkish. But yeah, that's really, really poor from Ludogorets, and they've finished down in 30th with a whole 3 points, which is quite poor. And finally, we have a Baro Stara Zagora into the Europa League conference qualifiers. A win against Panathinaikos at home, which was really, really good. Unfortunately, they did lose in Greece 2-0, which saw them lose a 3-2 on aggregate. So not great from Baro's point of view. And as we've seen, we've actually had quite a poor season in terms of the coefficients themselves. That's really going to hamper our progress. We've lost, 4.3 points to the two nations ahead of us, or 4.3, 4.6, which is going to move us further away from them. So we desperately need a better season next season. So that's it, guys. Just a quick season preview, review. I beg your pardon. Once again, apologies for the length of time between episodes. I am really struggling for the time, but I'm gonna try and knuckle down on it a bit. But thank you very much for watching. Please remember, hit that thumbs up button for me, guys. It does help me out. The last video, I know it's been a couple of weeks, but it's done really well. And I'm pleased for that, and so thank you for your continued support. But I will see you in the next episode. So until then, guys, I'll see you later.